All right. Welcome to the first episode of the Rob and Avis Ramble podcast, where we are going to ramble about just various things. These are conversations that we normally would have around our kitchen counter, the two of us, and our kitchen. Not really our kitchen counter. What do we ramble around? Our countertop.
We have an island.
We ramble around the island.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we should start, Avis. Let's tell people just a little bit about ourselves before we start rambling on other stuff.
Okay.
We don't typically ramble and tell each other about our history because we know that, but these are new people joining us, so they don't know. And the 2 or 3 people that are probably going to listen to this, they want to know something about us. So
Sure.
okay. So when do we meet? Where did we meet? What happened?
We met when I needed a date to my senior prom.
Met when you needed a date to your senior prom. Yeah. So basically, I was asked if I had interest in taking you to the prom, and I said, "Yeah, sure, let's do it. I'll take Avis to the prom." And that was in 1992.
Yes.
And then 3 years later, in 1995, we married.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we've been together over 30 years,
Yes.
and we are coming up on 29 years of marriage.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with all of that.
Okay. Perfect. No lies were told.
No.
Okay. Yeah. So we got 3 kids. They're all adults. They're out of the house. Our youngest is 19, and yeah, they're great. We have great kids. Very, good stuff.
Yes.
Maybe we'll talk about our parenting at some point,
Maybe.
but we don't take any credit for being great parents, for having great kids. We just have great kids. They're just great kids.
Yeah.
All right. What else? How old are we?
I'm younger than you.
You are younger than me. Yeah, I'm 51.
And I'm not.
And you're not. Yeah, she's 50. You're 50.
Stop it.
Yeah. Well, people should know that.
There needs to be
It's an
rules
important
here.
thing. I think some of the topics we're going to talk about is probably relevant.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we softball it in, or should we just kind of go right for the throat and let's talk about a topic? So I guess, one thing I should add, or, just for context around this is a lot of times, we'll kind of like be looking on social media, or a friend will be going through something or something. And that sort of like spurs these conversations that we have around our island.
Yeah, I think that's important to explain.
Yeah. So we decided, gosh, we're having all these discussions. Why don't we just invite the public into them? That's not weird, right?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But we value debate. We value looking at it from multiple points of view.
Yeah.
So this way we open it up and maybe we get a different view. Maybe we get a new topic to discuss.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe somebody will make a comment and they'll be like, "You guys are idiots.
Yeah.
Let's
I'd be like, maybe we are.
yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
examine
you guys don't
this.
have any idea what you're talking about." So
Yeah.
yeah, that's
A
fine.
lot of times I don't have an idea.
Yeah.
I make stuff
We're
up.
just gonna ramble. We're gonna ramble what we think is what's going on, and maybe we're right, maybe we're wrong. It's okay. That's what it's. This is why we have discussions,
Yeah.
right? So our goal here is not to tell anybody what's right or wrong, or necessarily how to think. I think we're just talking kind of out of our experience, and yeah,
Oh.
kind of just how we view it. All right. So yeah. So looking on social media, a topic that came up that let me pull my note up here because I made a note. I want to make sure I got the topic right.
Of course you made a note.
Yeah.
Rob is the overthinker in our relationship.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you're in charge of, you're responsible for family. You're gonna think a
Okay.
lot. You think about
You're
it
an
all
overthinker.
yeah. You gotta
Okay.
think a lot. You gotta think about the risk, the rewards. There's all kinds of stuff. Maybe we'll talk about that one day too. But yeah, so one of the social media accounts that seems to keep creeping its way back into my Twitter, X Twitter, what are we calling it? X, is a young lady named Pearl Davis.
Is she young?
I think
I mean, by Pearl standards, she might not be young.
well, yeah, according to her, she's almost up against the wall, right?
Yeah.
So she's in
Her
serious trouble.
her currency is running out quickly.
Yeah, but yeah, I think she's mid to late 20s, not really sure, somewhere in there. But,
Okay.
she says some kinda this things that seem a little outlandish sometimes, and sometimes she says things that are true, I think they're worth discussion, and I think sometimes she does make some decent points, but then she'll follow it up with other stuff. I'm just like, "I don't know where you're coming from with that."
Yeah, like, what
Uh,
did she say today?
well, yeah, that's what we're gonna talk about. So something we saw or that I saw that, well, I kinda brought up for a topic of discussion is, Jordan Peterson actually made a post, and she basically kinda reposted his post and said something about it was derogatory, negative. Can't remember exactly what it was that she said, but it kinda brought this topic up, and I was looking through the comments, and I saw, comments people were making about her post and so on, and I just wanted to pose this question kinda based on, what she said and, what I saw people in the comments saying, or some people.
Mm,
So, is it so, typically if you're gonna call a man beta, that's not a comment or not a compliment, right? That's like typically
sure,
something you would most people would consider to be negative from a
especially in the male
from
world.
the male world, yeah.
Yeah.
So, is it considered beta for a man to be monogamous in his marriage? If he's not sleeping around on his wife and having sex with women other than his wife, is that, is that beta behavior?
And, Pearl said this in response to Jordan Peterson.
Um, I think in a roundabout way, that's what she was saying. I don't know that she said it directly, but I think she has said other comments like men do need to men should sleep around on their wives to make their wives respect them. Haven't we seen her say
Um,
something to that degree before?
yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
So I do kind of think that's her view.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so
I mean,
today,
definitely people in the
again,
comment, that's their view.
somebody said that.
Yeah, I don't think she said that directly. I think she was just but I think that was the what was being implied, and people in the comments were definitely kinda going that direction. So,
Okay. Just trying to, you know,
you wanna you wanna have
understand.
all the facts straight. I don't know if these
Yeah.
are facts. I mean, this could be things I completely made up,
Okay.
but we're gonna go with it. Um, or that I just misinterpreted what people are saying, but that's okay. It still gives us something to talk about. So,
Okay.
I is that, would you consider that does anybody consider that justifiably beta behavior?
Is sleeping around on your wife beta
Is
behavior?
not sleeping around on your wife.
Not sleeping around on your wife beta behavior. I say I just struggle with the whole concept
Yeah.
because it's certainly not admirable behavior.
Yeah. Well, let me add a little more to it. So, I mean, would you say that, you know, I'm sure there's always exceptions, right? But, do a lot of women kind of gravitate towards the bad boy, right? I mean, that's kind of like a seems to be a for whatever reason, and women are often made fun of for that. But, is that a trait? Is that true that women kinda will often gravitate towards the bad boy?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I see people say they do.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, women like security on a general scale.
yeah, women do like
So
security.
the bad boys don't really offer security.
Yeah.
Are we talking about for dating or for marrying? Because
I don't
even a man has a different perspective on what he might want for dating versus marrying, right?
yeah, yeah. Well, maybe, some context, like, you'll see people talking about, a girl, she finds, like, a nice guy, she's dating the nice guy, she was previously with a guy who wasn't very nice to her, and he, maybe he was abusive or whatever, but then she's going back and having sex with that guy.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I see men talking about that happening as kind of, in the red pill sphere. Not that I'm a big red pill person or anything like that, but, it is something that I see talked about on social media quite a bit. And, I think there's a lot of kind of red pill men type stories out there where they talk about that. So, like, what do women really want?
Is that a question for
I
me?
don't know. I'm just throwing it out there into the world. I mean, that seems to be a big question men struggle with, or they don't even really care what women
Yeah,
want.
I
That's kind
mean,
of the other side of it, and that's kind of like maybe more like red pill thinking is it's not who cares what the woman wants.
yeah, this conversation took a turn I didn't expect. I mean, I thought we were talking about the legitimacy of a man sleeping around on his wife, and now all of a sudden we're talking about women wanting bad boys.
Well, I think I think it's kind of tied together.
I So sleeping around makes you a bad boy, and
Well,
that's what women want?
if women are attracted to the bad boy,
Uh-huh.
and their husband is not the bad boy, is that putting their marriage at risk?
But we were talking about men sleeping around, we weren't talking about women sleeping around.
I know that. So that's what I'm saying. So, like,
How is their marriage at
so go
risk?
back to, like, if a woman is viewing her husband as beta male, right? That might not be, like, an attractive thing to the wife. And so is her husband sleeping around or him not sleeping around, kinda giving him that beta title that doesn't, make him as attractive if girls are indeed attracted to the bad boys.
Yeah, I think that's a different kind of a bad boy. I don't think a man sleeping with other women makes him more attractive in most circles. Certainly, there are circles where that is acceptable and
Yeah.
encouraged, but I think in the general relationship of marriage, that's not an acceptable.
So in like a normal desirable marriage situation. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you come home and you were like, "Hey, I was feeling a little beta, so I went out and I slept around. Don't you find me more attractive?" I
Yeah.
don't think my answer is gonna be
Well, just
yes.
for the record, those words would never come out of my mouth. There's not a beta thing about me.
Okay, fair enough.
But
But the point is, if you went out and slept around for no matter what reason you might have, if you came to me and were like, "Hey, does that make me more attractive to you?" I don't think my answer is yes.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the why I'm bringing this up. Not because I'm considering this or anything. I just it was just something I saw, and it's kind of an interesting question, which is, I mean, I am struggling to find a situation where it it would be a good thing in a marriage, where it would
Yeah,
impact a marriage positively.
yeah.
But, I do see people making these suggestions, like, is it like I mean, so when Pearl Davis says something like, a man should sleep around on his wife to make her respect him. What does she mean by that? I know you're not Pearl, I mean, but, like,
Um,
what do you think she means by that? Like, why is she saying that?
I don't know. I mean, she's not married. She's happy to be the long-term girlfriend in her own words. Um, so I don't understand. I mean, is she gonna stay with her boyfriend if he sleeps around? Does it automatically change, like, when you get married? Is there some switch that like, I don't see it as a positive attribute to any relationship. So, I don't understand why Pearl would say that. I would actually like for her to explain that one day
Yeah. Well,
in more words than she's ever used before.
yeah. Well, sometimes I wonder if she just stirs the pot for engagement. Like, does she really believe these things? Maybe, but there seems to be a lot of people in the comments who eat it up and do kind of feel like it's, she's talking gospel.
I mean, are these just hopeful men who have bad relationships, or
Yeah, I wonder that
are there women responding?
I do. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't see that very often. I think I just mostly see a lot of men that are kind of more in that, red pill sphere mindset.
Yeah. Do we think the red pill is poison?
Do we think the red pill is poison? Well,
I don't think red pill doesn't give me, like, warm, fuzzy vibes for relationship.
yeah, I think you kind of have to go like, what is the, let's just forget what people have made it mean. I mean, what it's supposed to mean is, do you kind of live in the reality that is, or are you blue pilled and you just kind of want to see whatever reality or see what's fed to you, whether that's reality or not, and you're happy living in that, or do you actually want to know the truth?
Well, I think the reality is red pill is what people have made it. It doesn't matter what it was supposed to be, it matters how it's being used, right? It's like a slang term, like cap, like, you know what cap is, but nowadays, like, no cap means you're not lying. So, like, you have to use it in the appropriate text that it's currently being used in, I think.
Yeah, but my discernment, I don't know if that's the right word, kinda what I just based on what I see, I think, red pill, it it's well, at least what it's turned into, I don't regardless of what it used to be, is, just that women are not necessarily to be trusted. Um, that men kinda need to go their own way. There's an acronym for that they use. And, not be so concerned about the well-being of women, be more concerned about the well-being of themselves because women are, in their words, they're evil and deceitful.
Well, then those men just shouldn't get married, I guess.
Yeah, well, but they do wanna go out and sleep with women, but then they
Well,
wanna
then,
complain that there's no virgins,
yeah, whatever.
you know?
I don't
So,
know. I don't think it's a problem you can fix.
yeah, I don't think, there's always gonna be relationship problems, and
Yeah.
people, women or men, are gonna do awful things to each other at times, right?
Yeah. I mean, there has to be a level of mutual respect and trust. Without that, there's no real relationship, right?
Uh Yeah, I think well, we both know, we've talked about this enough around our kitchen island that, men and women have a little bit different needs, right, in terms of that. Like, men, the respect is much more of a need, and love kinda comes second to respect, if that makes sense.
Well, yes, I'm talking about just generalized, like, respect, not like you're I think you're talking about more of an overreaching respect. I'm talking about like a generalized like respect as human beings, you know. Like you can't have a relationship with somebody that doesn't respect you as a person. Like if you're a woman and a man just doesn't respect women at all, that's not going to be any kind of a relationship.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and is that what Red Pill is creating?
Uh,
That's my question.
yeah, I don't, I think I said this earlier or on when we just started talking, but, I do think there are some good points made by the red pill, right? But there also seems to be a lot of just trash mixed in there. It's kind of like the skin of the truth stuffed with a lie, and those are kind of the best lies, right? Those are the ones people eat up the most.
Okay.
No?
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah. Uh, so yeah, I think, one of the things that, well, let's loop back. I don't really know if we before we start on another, like, down another, because I feel like we're gonna go down another fork here. But so what are we coming back to? So, I think we both agree a husband should not be sleeping around on his wife. And if he wants to be sleeping around on his wife, there's probably something wrong with the marriage.
Sure. I mean, we agree on that, but for some reason, other people don't.
Yeah, well, is that because they don't have the respect of their wives? And so maybe their wives are not meeting their needs. So, and is this just
Well, I
really,
think that's just called an affair.
yeah. What?
Like, it's not sleeping around for the betterment of the relationship. You're just having an affair because you're looking for something different.
Yeah. But if we loop back to, we'll say Pearl's wrong, but if she's saying that in that situation, if a man does do that, is that making his wife respect him more or less?
I think always less.
Always less. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so how do you fix a situation like that? So maybe that's a fork we could go down a little bit here. Is just talking about in our own marriage. Uh, I think something, and we didn't have this figured out at first, right? They don't, no, nobody really gives you detailed line by line instructions when you get married. Sure, there's lots of advice and references and, um, but, you're just gonna encounter things in your marriage that you don't know right? So,
Yeah.
but, something you and I figured out kind of early-ish on is that sometimes you just gotta have the hard discussions, right?
Yeah.
So, if there's something going on with your spouse that, is potentially gonna be damaging to your marriage because you just can't get through it, I
Mm.
think you should talk about that with your spouse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the discussion of, "Hey, I'm struggling with X, Y, and Z in our marriage, and I'd like to see if we can work together to fix that," is much better than, "Hey, I was struggling with X, Y, and Z, but instead of talking to you, I had an affair and now I want a divorce because I love some other woman more."
Yeah, because it was easier to have an affair than it was to have a hard discussion, right?
Right,
But
but, it is eventually gonna come back around to a hard
right,
discussion.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say, like, it doesn't like, you're still getting there no matter
Yeah.
what. If you wanted to if you were trying to avoid hurting somebody's feelings, you're gonna do that either way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
potentially more hurtful.
Or if you were trying to avoid conflict, you're still gonna end up with conflict. So,
Yeah,
just have
and you've drugged somebody else into it with you
right.
now.
So, just have the conflict up front. Just,
Yeah.
work it out up front. Don't shy away from it. I mean, I think that would be our kind of our best is a couple who's been married almost 30 years and, together over 30 years. I think that would be our kind of best marriage advice is you gotta talk about the hard things, even if it's hurtful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you do it out of love. I think that's important.
Well, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Because you care enough about the relationship to put the work into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And since we've kind of been together and figured that out, like, I advise our kids to do the same. Like, if they're dating, like, not to be taken up in the moment, but to really think about long term and like when you're dating somebody, talk about the long term, like what you want out of life, what they expect out of life, and make sure that like things are lining up well before you even get to talking about marriage. Because if you can't line up early, there's no point in like that's not the person for you. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think now that we know, like starting that process as early as possible is kind of a key
Yeah.
to a healthy relationship.
Yeah. And I think always keeping that because people change, right? People
Oh,
do
yeah.
change. I mean,
Mhm.
I know, you and I mean, we were 18 when we started dating,
Yeah.
and now, at 50 plus, we've
Mm.
certainly gone through some change.
50 for me,
Yeah. Well, I
plus for you.
said 50 plus. Yeah.
Yeah, plus for you, 50 for me.
Technically
Very important distinction.
technically you're over 50. You're 50 in some number of days. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways. But yes, there's been a lot of growth and change and evolution? No, not evolution.
Yeah. I
Evolution, we like that word?
I don't know. I mean, it's evolved,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Mhm.
marriages evolve, people evolve, right? I mean, people I don't mean that in the, creation sense. That's not what I'm talking about, but I just
Yeah.
mean like personalities, um, yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, traits,
Yeah.
those sort of things. Those do change over time.
Yes.
So, this is gonna be a continual thing. It's not like you're gonna get married and you're gonna work everything out in the first 5 years because you're
Yeah.
you're both gonna shift and change a little bit, and there's gonna be new things that are gonna come up.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is true.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Alright. What else should we talk about? Did we beat that up enough? I don't know if we came to any conclusions. We just had a weird
Yes, we did
conversation.
come to a
What's
conclusion.
the conclusion?
It's not healthy for your relationship to sleep around.
Yes. Yeah, we do agree on that. So that's the conclusion.
Yeah. I don't know if that
Yeah.
makes the
And
man an
and if
alpha or a I think not sleeping around makes you more of an alpha because you're standing up to whatever consequences you brought to yourself through your relationship.
Well, I so we kinda started this conversation talking about a post that, Pearl shared from Jordan Peterson, and one of the things that Jordan Peterson says, is something to the effect of, "A good man is not," he's a a good man is not a good man because he's a weak man. A good man is you know, a very dangerous strong man, but he keeps it in control.
I Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So maybe the context of this conversation is it's a man who's certainly capable of sleeping around if he wants to, but
Sure, yeah.
he's not going to because he cares about his family. He cares about, the damage it may do. He's those sorts of things, right? So he keeps himself in control.
Yeah, I mean, certainly I find you attractive, and that means other women do as well.
Yeah. All the women at the grocery store all the time. We always go in there and you're fighting them off. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's getting a little uncomfortable for me, but
yeah,
put up with it. What else am I gonna do?
not grocery shop
Yeah,
anymore.
I gotta stop going grocery shopping.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I like it when you go with me. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think a woman wants to be with a man who is going to have other choices, because if he doesn't have any other choices, then he's probably not a very good choice. Does that make sense?
It makes some sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and
So
like you,
knowing that your man has the ability to have other choices, you would say is kind of an attractive.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Because
I
he's successful enough,
right.
he's
Like, should I perish? I don't think I'm going to anytime soon, but should I perish, you have plenty of choices out there, grocery store ladies aside.
yeah, but that's another, like, one of these discussions you and I've had around the thing is, like, I wouldn't be getting married again.
No, you won't get married again, but you won't have to be alone either. Like, you
Yeah.
have choices.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I don't, maybe I should clarify that statement. I don't wanna make it sound like we have a great marriage. Like, we're good, right?
yeah,
And but I think the reality is, um, I hesitate to call it luck because it's something we worked at, right? And we're both willing to work at, but not every woman out there is, and there is definitely, I think, more risk in getting married these days.
yeah,
And I just I wouldn't involve the state in legal marriage if anything happened to you. But
yeah. I mean, yeah,
would I have like another woman in my life or something? I mean, sure, maybe at some point, I don't know, but like marriage, legal marriage would be off the table, right?
yeah,
We
but
talked about this concept of like spiritual marriage and keeping the state out of it. Maybe another topic, but
yeah. I mean, you're gonna be so old though.
who did I just see? I just saw people posting today. Who the heck is one of the football teams? He's like the owner of the football team, real wealthy guy. He's like 74 years old, and he's some picture of him with his, hot 26-year-old wife in her bikini.
Right, because she values security and is willing to potentially overlook his looks
His
or
age,
lack thereof.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying once you're 70, you're screwed. You're 74, that's it.
You're gonna have to get like a 24-year-old.
Yeah.
That's gonna suck for you.
Yeah, well, I'm not Leonardo DiCaprio, so,
No, no.
um, but
Uh, yeah, yeah. So we totally joke, but yeah, should something happen to me, you have choices. And is that appealing? Sure. Or do I want you exercising those choices? No.
yeah.
That would not be good.
Currently, you mean if you died, you're not gonna be
Yeah,
like
if I die,
you're
do
not you're
whatever
not
you
guilting
want.
me from the grave,
No, no. In
but
fact, if I should perish, I want you to live a long, happy life.
yeah, I don't know that it'd be possible. I'd be pretty heartbroken.
Yeah. Well, you will get over it.
Maybe eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But
Anyways,
yeah, okay,
I hear though you don't even have to get over it. Like, there's no actually getting over it. There's just
moving on.
continuing on. I mean, that's always a part of your life, but you are able to.
Yeah.
Anyways. That's a whole nother
Yeah, it's
topic.
another whole we're just going like a down a down like a dark hole. I don't know. That sounds like a I don't know if we wanna have a dark conversation. Some people
Well,
probably consider a conversation we've already had dark.
we've kept it lighthearted.
Yeah.
We're just talking about life facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways,
Alright. Well, we've only been rambling for coming up on 30 minutes.
I know.
What should we ramble about now? I feel like our sound is, so it just, we were struggling with our sound. So, like, you have another podcast you do that's solo, and,
Mhm.
and that's great, and then we decided, "Hey, we're gonna do this ramble thing. Why not? We're gonna add another mic." And, oh my gosh, uh
I've hated my life.
it's been a nightmare, like, just trying to work out our sound. We're in the same room, um, which I know people do that all the time. I don't know why we're having such trouble with it. Uh,
Well, we're not podcast experts
we're
yet.
not podcast experts, but we're gonna work through it. So apologies if the sound isn't awesome. We're gonna keep trying to work on it.
So when I started my first podcast, my motto was because I struggle to do things before I feel like I know everything there is to know about something. And so part of my new motto is progress over perfection. So, or, you have to start somewhere. So this is our starting
This is our
somewhere.
starting somewhere. So,
Yeah.
w
The good news is it should get better.
yeah. So, I don't know, a year down the road when, like, 10 people are, like, wildly excited about this podcast, and then they'll be able to go back and look and see our first episodes and be like, "Wow, they really sucked back then, but they're so much better now." And
Yeah.
I'm glad to contribute to the 10 people that are gonna be interested in this in their lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, funny story, like, we watch a lot of YouTube and, um, somebody that we watch, like, their, like, production level is almost movie level, and I was like, "Wow," I mean, like, how? How did they know all that stuff? So then I went back and I watched some of their early ones, and they were terrible. I mean, there's no other way to explain it. Like, their sound was bad, their video quality wasn't amazing, and I think that's what helped inspire me to be like, "You just have to start because you only get better through practice and improvement."
Yeah. Yeah.
So and you can't practice without starting.
Yeah. Yeah. And incremental change and improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So we'll get there
yeah.
with our
Maybe one day we'll have a whole production crew, and we won't have to do anything but talk.
it's gonna be hard to support that with 10 people listening. I don't know. I mean, maybe we're gonna, hey, maybe we're gonna be like, we'll do Patreon and we're gonna have 10 people paying us 10,000 bucks a month. And we're like, okay, well, that's 100 grand extra income that,
Yeah.
we could probably hire a production person with that. Maybe
Sweet.
two. So
Uh, well, I know we have built-in vans with family, so we're at least up to 2.
we at least have two. I
Yeah.
don't think even our families are gonna support us at $10,000 a month apiece,
Oh,
though.
no, 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 not that. They're just gonna
Probably
be
not.
watching.
Yeah, they'll just watch.
Anyways, again, we digress.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. What other wisdom can we lay on the world here, Avis? Because, we know it all. So what else can we do? What do you want to talk about? I came on the topic. You got any topics?
no,
None.
not today. I was doing podcasting stuff and not surfing the socials.
You had one of your podcasts today and you were editing some of your other podcast.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's true. I haven't been on socials. Had a busy day.
yeah, you were pretty busy today. And then I got off of work and, you know, you were doing your thing. I was doing my thing, able to catch up on some social media.
Yeah.
Um,
I did some cooking and cleaning like a good wife.
yes. Did you make me a sandwich? You didn't make me a sandwich. You did make me pizza yesterday, though, and that's what I had for lunch today. I had leftover pizza.
I made you steak for dinner.
Oh, that was dinner?
Well, I was gonna say maybe an early
That was so
dinner.
early. Yeah,
Is it a snack?
I did. We've been doing this carnivore thing, and I, I'm trying to find a note here that I had, but yeah, we're doing this carnivore carnivore thing. So not really eating any carbs, anything at all like that. I shouldn't even say not eating, like not really eating carbs. Like I'm not eating carbs. You're doing kind of like a modified carnivore.
Yeah, I put it back in, a little bit of peanut butter.
Yeah. Yeah, so s
Um,
no so, yeah, as
I'm more like keto,
yeah.
more on the keto side of things.
But, yeah, so when you hear me say something like I had a steak for a snack, I mean, that's literally like a steak with butter and salt on it.
Yeah. They were tiny steaks.
Yeah, I know they shrink up so much. I like them,
Yeah.
and then it's gonna hurt some people's feelings, but, like, I like it really well done. I
Yeah.
like the fat to get, like, crispy and, like, I'll eat the fat and all that, like, that's the best. Maybe what I should do is actually, like, cut the fat off, cook the steak regular, because the steak does get a little tough when I do that, and then throw the fat in there and just burn it to a crisp and eat it. Maybe that's what I should be doing. Does
Maybe.
that make it like cow bacon when I do that then?
I don't know. I just we have a difference of opinions on the perfect steak.
Yeah. The fat has to be crispy. It's gross if it's not, and it's like it's so tasty when it's all burnt up. I like to eat every bit of it.
Yeah, well, you're allowed to have your opinion. It makes cooking easy. I can forget about
Just
it.
throw it in there and walk away for 3 hours. It's fine. I'll eat
Exactly.
it. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
This is true. This is true. But your pizza, that's carnivore pizza with a chicken crust, which is
Mhm.
actually pretty good.
It is pretty good, and not having eaten carbs in so long, like, I'm trouble having trouble telling the difference from a real pizza.
Yeah.
I'm sure if I ate a real pizza, I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, this is completely different," but
Mm.
it doesn't feel like it now.
Yeah, I don't eat pizza because I don't eat much dairy, um, but I have had some of your crust without the cheese and stuff on it, the chicken crust, and it tastes pretty good.
Yeah.
It's, like, fluffy like bread.
So, yeah, I mean, and this isn't we're just rambling, so we can talk about this. Why not? What's in it? It's ground chicken.
Mhm. Pork panko,
Okay.
which is like pork rinds
Like
all
crushed up
crushed
pork
up.
rinds. Okay.
Mhm. An egg and a little bit of cream cheese.
And
So and what I've learned is it's the cream cheese that helps make the, quote, "carnivore bread" fluffy. Cream cheese makes it fluffy. I don't know how that works, but that's what adds the fluff to it.
so that's the crust. So you mix the
Yeah,
ground chicken, the cream cheese, and the, pork panko
and an egg.
and an egg,
Mm,
mix it all up, and then we make 2 crust out of that, right? Because
yeah,
I like a thin crust.
yeah,
Yeah.
about 1 pound of chicken
Yeah.
makes 2
So, like,
crusts.
divide it in half, put it on a pan.
Mm,
You gotta put the, what's the paper stuff? We put
parchment.
parchment paper. So put it on parchment paper, spread it all out, kinda make it thin, and then throw it in the oven and just let just
Mhm.
the crust cook for
Like 20
20
minutes.
minutes. Okay.
Yeah,
At what?
400.
400 degrees. Okay. And then, take it out, throw some
Mhm.
mozzarella cheese on it, some pepperonis, whatever your toppings are that you like. If you're doing carnivore, that's gonna be all meat or cheese,
Yeah,
and,
broil it.
broil it for, like, 10 minutes.
Depends on which oven you use.
Yeah, yeah, we have 2 ovens in our kitchen, and, one of them definitely gets, like, at the same temperature, like, it's cooking faster.
Yeah,
So,
much
something's off with
faster.
the temperature sensor or something, but
Yeah,
yeah,
one of them had the face replaced early on. I wonder if that skewed it somehow.
yeah, maybe it's not, like, calibrated right or something, I don't know.
I don't know there.
But yeah, yeah, so then you cook that, let it broil itself up, and, yeah, so you got
Mhm.
pizza. It's like in, under 30 minutes, kinda start to finish.
Yeah. Well, I make the dough before you start helping, so I'm gonna go with 40
You're
minutes
gonna go
start
with
to
40
finish.
minutes, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
by the time I mix it all up, and then it Rob likes it extremely thin, and the time that I tried to make it thin, it was
I was like, "This is
unacceptable.
unacceptable. There's
Yeah,
not enough thin crust."
it wasn't thin enough,
I'm gonna
so
roll
now
out.
my rule is he rolls it out.
Yeah, yeah, so I get in there and I'm doing some women's work and
Are you doing man's work
rolling
of
out
making
rolling out the
sure that
pizza crust. It's a shame. I know someone's gonna make fun of me for being in the kitchen rolling out a pizza crust, but
yeah, well,
I like it thin, so I don't know what to say. My wife's failing in that department. What am I supposed to do? I'm taking charge?
man's gotta eat.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, my role in the marriage as the leader of the marriage, I gotta make it work one way or the other, right? So if I want thin crust and you're incapable of doing it, I gotta do it.
You gotta do it.
Yeah. It's the only way it's gonna get done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so terrible.
Yeah.
But what would the transformed wife say?
I
She's
don't
another one
yeah, I don't you talk about her at times, but that's not somebody I'm, like, really familiar with. But
yeah, well, you'll have to start, checking out some of her
okay.
tweets, X's, I don't know how you say it.
Yeats?
Eats?
Yeats? I
Yeet?
don't know.
I don't think that's it.
Yeah, I think people still call them tweets,
Tweets. Yeah.
but whatever.
She's a
Post.
little bit like Pearl Davis. Sometimes I agree with her. Sometimes I'm like, she has lost her ever loving mind today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, we're being kinda, you know, people are gonna say the same thing about us,
Yeah. That's fine
you know?
because it's true, right? Like, not everybody agrees.
Yeah.
Everybody has a slightly different point of view. So they're going to agree with some things and disagree with others.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I think
so
that's what this is for.
what does the transformed wife say that gets you going?
Oh, I mean, the best one I can think of lately is um, she was saying, based on the Old Testament scripture, women are to have long hair. But in her opinion, shoulder length hair is long.
Okay. Uh,
So my question is, one, does the Old Testament still apply? Do women need to have long hair? And two, what gives her the authority to decide that shoulder length hair is long hair? Because I don't find that in my Bible study that there's a dictation of how long hair is.
yeah. So we're Christians, right?
Yeah,
So, yeah, I mean, but am I can I quote every scripture in the Bible and can, like, know it off the top of my head? No.
no.
So, but I would think, just kinda Rolodexing through my mind here, maybe what she was talking about is that there's a passage in there somewhere about, long hair is kind of the glory of a woman, right?
Yeah, and she
So,
referenced that,
yeah,
but
so
it's
is
Old
that
Testament
is that her argument
for saying
for
that.
saying that? Is that Old
Yes.
Testament?
I'm pretty sure that's Old Testament.
I don't think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I can
Well,
look it up while we're on the thing here, maybe.
okay.
But, but anyways, that's her evidence for women should have long hair because yeah, but then she's kinda going the extra step of saying that means shoulder length, which she gets from where?
That's what I don't understand.
Okay.
And that's like I don't understand what gives some of these people the authority to dictate the details of it.
'Kay. So I think it's subjective, right? I mean, I am not again, I'm not I don't know. Yeah, it's New Testament.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't surprise me that I'm wrong. Where in the New Testament?
Corinthians is what I'm seeing here, if I'm looking at the right verse.
Okay.
Um, talking about the woman's long hair is her glory. First, Corinthians 11:15, I think.
Okay.
So, um, but yeah, I mean, that is a verse I'm familiar with. I know people do use that. I mean, I would say subjectively, I like long hair. I'm not gonna go beat a woman into the ground who has short hair with that scripture, but I do think women look better with long hair. That's just me.
Yeah, is shoulder length long?
Not to me.
I mean, it's longer than short,
Yeah,
but
it's longer than short.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just my point. That was just like one of the things that comes to the top of my head.
Something
Where
that kinda got you going. You saw that
yeah,
and you were like, "What the heck?"
she'll make a like she'll reference scripture, but then she'll go on to add her own like details to it as if they were scripture.
Yeah, and then is she able to does she back that up? I mean, I'm fine with that if someone can kinda give a well-reasoned argument for their point of view. Does she do that?
Sometimes she defends her point of view. Sometimes she threatens to turn off her comments so that she no longer has to defend her point of view.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So I don't really know.
Yeah, yeah. So is
I have to come with more examples next time.
yeah, it's all
I
right.
wasn't prepared.
We're just rambling. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can get more formal. We can stay less formal. I don't know. I'm good with whatever. But
It'll probably go both ways.
yeah, a little bit of a mix in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. So I don't know. I'd like to see her kind of defend why she says shoulder length. I mean, I don't. I can't fathom why. I mean, subjectively, sure. You could say subjectively.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, no, somebody said to her, "My hair doesn't grow past my shoulders," and she said, "Well, shoulder length is an acceptable long length."
Oh, it's acceptable. Okay. So yeah. Yeah. So, and some people might say, I mean, and
I
it
mean,
depends.
you I'm paraphrasing. I don't know that she used the term acceptable long length, but that was the basis of it was like, yeah, shoulder length hair is long hair.
Yeah. So if a woman gets cancer and she's going through chemo and she loses all of her hair, like is that it? She's sinning according to her.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be a good question.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. Maybe she's supposed to wear a wig. Maybe wig prevents you from being a sinner.
I don't know. Speaking of bald, did you see that recent picture of Tim Pool? I know you did.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I did.
That's like doxing. We discussed this. I was like, that's
Well, you
posting a picture of him without his hat on is almost like doxing him.
right. So he just recently interviewed Trump, right? And so there was discussion going on about he like some people thought it was disrespectful that he interviewed Trump in a I don't know what he's wearing, but he's wearing a beanie and he wasn't wearing a suit.
Yeah.
But yeah, then there was like somebody posted a picture somewhere of him without his beanie on, and I was like, dude, I would not recognize him in public. Like,
No, that's why I'm, likening it to doxing him because that's part of his, like, disguise? I don't know if you wanna call it that.
yeah, yeah.
Anyways, I
So
digress.
you're
This is
saying so like he's obviously a pretty popular figure. He's interviewing the president or
yeah,
the former president. So you've got to have some notoriety. So you're saying like
sure.
it's kind of he can go into public without being recognized and take off his beanie, and now somebody's ruined that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he could have talked to me on the subway, and I wouldn't have known who he was without his beanie on after seeing the picture of him.
Yeah, but it is so you and I used to watch the Impractical Jokers all the time,
Yeah.
and it was always amazing to me. They would go. I mean, maybe the whole thing was staged. Maybe that's the answer. But
Mm,
they'd go and like people never recognize them, right? Even after their show
yeah.
got very popular.
Let's go deeper than that. O'Keefe. I
Oh,
mean,
the James O'Keefe, yeah.
he puts on a pair of glasses and people don't recognize him anymore?
Yeah. So I think my point in that is, like, if you're not looking for it, you're not gonna see it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I agree with that, but,
yeah.
like
But in the case of Tim Pool, like, you don't see a lot of people wearing a beanie around in the summer. So if you see somebody, like, wearing a beanie in the summer so maybe in the winter, it's easier for him to kinda blend in even with the beanie. But in the summer, you're gonna be, like, looking at somebody a
yeah.
little closer, like, why are they wearing a beanie in the
He could be wearing a ball cap, though, in the
yeah, it could
summer.
be wearing yeah, that well, maybe that's the disguise he's gonna be forced to do that now because someone's seen him without the beanie.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so do you find it disrespectful that he didn't, like, change his normal attire to interview Trump?
Ah.
Okay, I want
So
you to think long and hard about this, Mr. Vans.
yeah, because I don't like to dress up.
No.
That's no secret. Um, yeah, I mean, respect should be met with respect. Is Trump respectful? Um, man, that's a whole loaded topic. They're gonna get some people mad at me, and some people probably love me for it. But like, I, so I don't know. But also, you have a persona. I mean, Tim's
Yeah,
persona is he's like in character, whatever that is, right? So
right. Yeah.
I wouldn't say like I saw the interview and I I mean I didn't that thought never crossed my mind. I was never like, wow, he's being a jerk for not, you know.
Yeah, same. I just I don't know.
The first I even thought about it was because I saw somebody else say it. that he was
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah.
So
Again, social media sparked this
yeah,
conversation.
yeah, yeah. You're not gonna everybody's gonna be mad about something, and that was all kind of on the back of the libertarian, uh, yeah, the whole libertarian thing. I mean, we identify as libertarians. I mean, we typically
Do we still?
well, that's where I was going with this. Yeah, like,
Yeah,
man, I mean, I would say yes, the libertarian principles
sure.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think that's there's no perfect system, but I think that's it's pretty close to perfect as we can think about the ideals of the Libertarian Party.
Yeah.
The reality of what's going on with it right now, um, I am I'm genuinely kind of wondering if there was some kind of backroom deal that happened for the Libertarian president nominee because they were trying to push votes to Trump.
Yeah. We'll have to unpack this as it unfolds
Yeah, well, we have
more.
between now and November. I'm sure we have plenty of opportunities to talk about what's happening.
Yeah.
So,
Currently, I have no comment.
no comment. You're reserving comment.
Yeah, I have no
I kind
comment.
of want to wait. I mean, Trump, he went and spoke at the Libertarian National Convention, which was a first. I don't think they
Yeah.
ever had there's never been a candidate from another major political party come and speak at a convention. And he basically was like, I'll make a deal. Give me your votes. Give me your nominee. He also asked them to nominate him, which I thought was kind of funny. But yeah,
Missed
he
that.
was like, give me your votes or nominate me. And if you do that, I will put libertarians into my cabinet positions or some, not all. He didn't say all by any means, but that he
Yeah,
promised
yeah.
that he would do that. Um, so I don't know. Was that a smart move on his part?
I think it was.
Yeah. I bet so. I mean, I wonder kind of that coupled with who actually ended up being the libertarian nominee, which a lot of people are arguing is not at all libertarian. So,
Yeah, I haven't
libertarians gonna vote for the libertarian nominee, and if they're not, who are they gonna vote for?
yeah.
So that's a lot of, like, maybe
It's kinda like they confuse libertarian with liberal, like the terms,
yeah, yeah.
from my
It's
understanding.
not
I haven't really
yeah, it's not the same thing.
I've been under a rock the last couple days.
Libertarian confuses a lot of people, I think. Some
Yeah,
people accuse it of being like a conservative. Some people say, "No, it's like a liberal." It's,
yeah.
you know
I mean, the candidate
Oh, the
was
candidate, not the ideology.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like the from I again, I've been living under a rock since the nomination, but it seems like they were picking a liberal versus a
Well, I
libertarian.
think yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the thing is like most of the he's just yeah, definitely seemingly more liberal leaning than what you would typically expect out of a libertarian candidate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So that's why the question of was this some backroom deal with the Libertarian Party to nominate the guy that libertarians are going to be least likely to vote for so that if they go and cast their vote, they're probably gonna cast it for Trump, I would imagine. But we haven't seen Trump's VP yet, we don't know what's happening there,
Yeah.
but,
And I mean, we haven't really investigated the libertarian nominee too much. I mean, you're just
yeah,
going
I
on
don't I mean,
first first
there was other
impressions.
nominees, like, I think everybody was kinda shocked. I
Yeah.
mean, some people weren't shocked, so I said maybe this was a
I mean,
purposeful thing, but, like,
yeah.
that's who it ended up being, so but, I didn't go to the Libertarian National Convention, so, as some people have said, "Tough shit, I don't have a right to complain."
Yep.
Okay.
You're out for the moment.
I mean, that's okay. I can get on board with that. I can appreciate that. I mean, I wasn't there voting, right?
Yeah.
That's a fair critique.
Yeah.
Um, so, but that's who we ended up with.
Like I
Um,
said, we'll unpack that as it unfolds.
yeah, plenty of time to talk about it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else we should talk about? I have a few more
Mm,
minutes here. I think we're gonna kind of be aiming for 45 minutes to an hour on these, and we're creeping up on an hour, but we got a few minutes. Anything else we
yeah.
can chat about?
I got nothing.
Okay. I'm still not too happy with this whole sound thing here. I don't know if you hear it, but in my mic, or my headphones, I can kind of hear. I think like the gate is closing or something, and it's like, but maybe I'm getting too far off to the side of the mic. I don't know. Still got to play with this, or it's
Yeah.
still a thing. We were having some issues with like echoes, and the room's all soundproofed up. So I think the other mics are just picking it up. We've been playing with the gain, and yeah, it's been fun times. Been a nightmare.
Like type 2 fun.
Type 2 fun.
Yeah. Doesn't stop. Fun. It'll
It's like
be fun
I feel
later
like
when
everybody
it's
wanted to
all
be over, we
working
just want
out.
our sound to be fixed, yeah.
I want it to be over. Thankfully, you've taken lead.
Yeah, I can see what's stressing you out, so it's
Yeah,
just one more thing I put on my plate. It's like the pizza crust. If you can't do it right, then I gotta step in and do it, and that's fine.
yeah. I didn't even try to do it right.
Yeah.
I just quit.
Maybe that's a strategy. Maybe you're just, you're like,
Not
"Oh,
saying it's not a
I'm
strategy.
the weaker sex. I don't know what I'm doing, so it's fine. That's okay. I'm good with that. That builds my ego. I'm happy. You be
Okay.
this weaker sex all you want. Okay.
Perfect.
Um, yeah. So nothing else? You got nothing else?
I got
This is
nothing.
it? We're gonna wrap it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's wrap it
All
up.
right, let's wrap it up. So, thank you guys for watching. I mean, if you're watching episode 1, you could be watching some sort of greatness unfolding here,
Yeah.
right? To your point, like, we suck right now, but maybe a year from now, maybe 5 years from now, we're gonna be it. People are like, Joe Rogan's gonna have us on. We're gonna have Joe Rogan on. That's actually what's gonna happen.
Or Tim Pool
Or Tim Pool,
or both
or both at the same
at
time.
the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 maybe that'll happen. Um, so, anyways, yeah, thanks for checking it out, and, if we're doing something you like, if you just need something to listen to and hear a couple of middle-aged folks rambling about who knows what, uh,
Yeah. Or you could know what if you suggest something in the comments.
yeah, maybe tell us something you want us to talk about. I mean, you know a little bit about us now. We've got 3 kids. We've got been married coming up on 30 years. We've been together over 30 years. If you wanna know, like, how we've made stuff work, let us know.
Yep.
Glad to talk about it. Yeah. All right. Well, like us, hearts, whatever. What do you do? Share. What are all the social media things people are supposed to do?
Smash the like button.
Smash the like button. Okay.
Hit the
Yeah,
notification
because this will
bell.
be on X and this will be on YouTube. So you got to kind of be all inclusive here. And I don't think
Oh,
they're exactly the same. Like
I don't know. Push all the
X
buttons.
has hearts, right? You like something
I
with a
think
heart, I think.
I think so, yeah.
And YouTube, you're right. You smash that like button and you
Yeah.
subscribe.
Yeah.
And on X, I think you just follow. So
Okay.
whatever that is. It'd be nice if these social media gurus would get together and kind of come up with a uniform. Like, we should either like
That's so not libertarian.
no, but well, they as long as the government's not forcing them to do it.
I know, I'm just
Private industry decides to
kidding.
collude together, that's fine. But, yeah, I mean, give it
Yeah.
give us a standard, right? Make it likes or thumbs ups or hearts or, whatever it is across the board, and then it's not confusing as we move around to these platforms.
Okay. I don't care.
Oh, that sounded really bad when I laughed in that mic. It's probably gonna sound awful if somebody's listening to this in, like, a loud system. Yeah, we got some more dialing in to do.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.